All right, here are your full moon messages as we move into the Taurus full moon on November 15th, 2024. Depending on where it is in the world that you are located, we're going to see what Spirit wants you to know as we move through this powerful full moon portal, this portal of change with the full moon connected to and in conjunction with the planet Uranus, the change bringer, the bringer of chaos, revolution, and evolution. What changes are we going for? What does Spirit want us to know and focus on moving forward? We have the convertible here with the tools. So this is about having lots of possibilities, lots of options. This is also about freedom and free will. And what Spirit wants somebody to know who's finding this video is that you have all the tools for the job. You have everything you need. So if you have been holding yourself back, thinking that perhaps you're not ready, and I apologize for the background noise. As you guys know, it's kind of a crazy house where I'm recording these videos. Lots going on, as you can tell. If you've been holding yourself back because you feel like you're not prepared, you don't have all the information, you don't have all the skills, you don't have all the tools, you have exactly what you need to move forward. And the resources that you don't have yet will come to you as you continue to move forward along the path and the trajectory here. Then we have the within a few days card. So I think it's interesting that I pulled that card when I was talking about having all the resources that you need, the ones that you don't have yet. So I feel like there's going to be another needed resource or opportunity coming within the next few days. And we have 2 7 cards here. So we have 7 7 here and a 1 for those who, for my numbers people, which I think most people are, that find these videos. So that 7 7 energy, that is one of the most spiritual numbers. The 7 is a number of our spiritual gifts. It is a number of possibility. It is a number of completion in a sense, not in the sense of endings and beginnings, but in a sense of full spectrum, I guess, is better than saying completion, right? If we think about, we have the 7 major bodily chakras, right? We have the 7 colors of the rainbow. This energy of the 7, there's a spiritual completeness here. A spiritual wholeness, I suppose you could say. So for some people, this also almost feels like the 7 7 energy is pointing toward the 7 7 portal for someone. So that would have been July 7th or June 7th. Right? No. Yeah, July 7th. Sorry. Would have been July 7th. So that would have been right before the 8/8 or right around the 8/8 as well. No, that wouldn't have been. Wow, I'm getting all confused here, you guys. Backtrack that. So this would have been around July 7th, perhaps. In July, perhaps something started to crystallize for you, something that you were desiring, something you were wanting to bring into fruition, a dream, a new direction that you wanted to go in life. And you've been, I feel like, putting things together in the sense of learning the things you needed to learn, gathering the tools, gathering the resources. And I think that's why Spirit's saying, like, you've done enough of the planning. It's time to move to the next step. So for some people, it's not the resources coming in within the next few days. It's like that next step becoming clear, or that sign or synchronicity, because 7s to me, similar to 1s, and we actually have a 1 card with this right here. represent to me synchronicities and things like that as well. So the synchronicity, the sign, like you're going to get that sign that says it's time to act now. It's time to put this together. Literally one of the last phrases on this card is, and it's probably going to be backwards in the way that you're reading it, but it says get shit done. All right. That masculine energy, working with our masculine energy here. These are a lot of cards. I'm not going to take all of them, but I am going to take the eyeglasses. This is finally seeing something clearly. This is also checking the fine print, and this is another 7. So now we have 777 out here. You guys are coming up all 7s right now. So this is also saying for some people, if you have a lot of options, and sorry, I keep having to adjust the camera here. If there are any perfectionists watching this reading right now, you're probably going nuts. And I know I have a lot of Virgos that follow my channel. So maybe this is your sign to release perfectionism. Right? Just let it fly. Let it go. Stop worrying so much about getting everything perfect. But at the same time, yes, make sure that you go over the fine print. If you're signing a contract, an agreement, make sure that you are reading everything. If you have a bunch of different options available to you, there is some evaluating, there is some assessment. And for some of you guys, like I'm feeling this energy of like writing a pros and cons list, really delving into that Virgo. This is actually a Taurus card, but I'm really feeling that Virgo energy right now, like delving into that. Make the pros and cons lists, right? Weigh the options, but at the end of the day, go with your gut. This came through in the video that I just did for the full moon in Taurus. It was called No Guts, No Glory. And there was something that came through at the end of that about going with your gut, trusting your gut. Make sure that you know what you're agreeing to. Make sure you read the fine print. Make sure you weigh the options, but at the end of the day, go with your gut. Let your gut be the final determining factor. We have yoga, contemplation, going within. And then we have the balloons, which is all about rising up, ascension, aspirations, achieving goals, higher perspectives. So what Spirit's also saying is like, what is your ultimate goal? What is the energy underneath what you want? What are you desiring to create in your life? So this is beyond like the physical things like, you know, I want to create such and such a business, or I want to create such and like, what are you seeking to fulfill with that? We're going to use the example of a business, right? Perhaps you want to work from home. Perhaps you want to start your own business. Perhaps you want to help people in some capacity, but what is underneath that? Why are you doing that? What is the ultimate driving factor or force behind that? Are you looking for more freedom? Are you looking for more independence? Which I guess is another word for freedom, right? Are you looking to be able to spend more time with your family, to not have to travel so much? Or are you looking to travel more? What is it that you really want? And if you're looking to travel more, like keep going with this. What's underneath that? To expand your horizons, to meet new people, to have new experiences. That's what you really want. Look at what is the driving force or factor behind what you were trying to achieve. And focus on that energy and bringing more of that energy into every aspect of your life. How can you make, if we're going with the example of wanting to travel for your work, because you want to expand your horizons, have new experiences, meet new people, how can you do that in your daily life? How can you do that right now? As you bring that energy in right now in the little ways that you can, that helps to make you a matching vibration to the energy of the ultimate thing that you're wanting, that you feel is going to bring you that on this kind of scale that you're looking for, if that makes any sense. Some of you guys, I'm really feeling this inner child healing right now as well. Some of my My viewers who are finding and resonating with this reading, you may have been doing a lot of inner child work. And some of that might have been more heavy type of work. And so what Spirit is saying is that try working on your inner child by incorporating more play, by having more fun. And so this is like a simple example of, say, as a child, you really loved to draw, but you were ridiculed or criticized because somebody said your drawings weren't that good. Get out that old pen and paper, get out some paints, maybe even some finger paints, and draw a picture. Allow yourself to create without judgment, without judging yourself or what it is that you're creating. Just allow yourself to have fun doing it. And that is healing that aspect of the inner child. That aspect of you that loved to create until somebody told them that your creations were not good enough. So it's like, heal your inner child in that way as well. I mean, yes, my favorite way to work with my inner child is to meditate and to simply send love to myself at different points in my life. To send that love and acceptance to myself. And you can absolutely do that too, but do some stuff that's fun for your inner child. Reclaim some of that energy. If somebody told you that your singing wasn't appropriate or it wasn't good enough, that happened to me when I was a child. More that it wasn't appropriate in certain situations. And then I think some people, some people did make fun of my singing as well. And I used to love to sing. I still do. And I still do it. Right? I mean, when I'm alone or when I'm in my car, or I'm not like a sing in the shower kind of girl, but I'm definitely a sing in my car kind of girl. And so it's like, start singing again, just for your own enjoyment. Whatever it is, whatever you were told you couldn't do or shouldn't do, or you weren't good enough at doing, heal that part of your inner child by doing that thing again and congratulating yourself the way that you would say if your child, or if you don't have children, somebody else's child, your niece, your nephew, what have you, brought a painting up to you that they made. What would you say to them? Hopefully most people on here would encourage them and say, oh, that's so beautiful. You did such a great job. What an amazing piece of art, right? You hang it on the fridge, you hang it on the wall to make them feel good, to bolster that sense of creativity and that sense of them being worthy. Do that for yourself. We have the Knight coming out here. This is about assertiveness, honor. Let's get a couple more cards out to go with this. Is Leo energy. We have Mars in Leo currently. Mars will be going retrograde in the sign of Leo back into the sign of Cancer at the end of the year. And then we have the Blinders. So this is that energy that we talk about quite frequently on here of being your own rescuer, being your own knight in shining armor. So this is another energy coming through here. For some is, where in your life have you been sitting back waiting for somebody or something to rescue you? And we talked about this in the full moon video too. This energy of, and for anyone who's just finding this, go check that out. We talk about the astrology specifically of the full moon in that video. And so we talked about this energy of giving our power away to somebody or something that we think is going to rescue us. It's taking that power back, taking that ownership of our own journey, getting out of that victim mentality. This is also about confronting our own biases. And it's so funny how this all relates back to the video that I just did the other day that just came out today as I'm recording this video. We talked about the biases too. And we talked about how we all have our own biases. And I don't believe that within this human experience, we're really capable of completely removing all biases, of that complete neutrality and detachment. But it's like, where have you been biased in some way, in some manner? And where is it that you can perhaps consciously begin to look beyond those biases? It's almost like the way Spirit's putting it through right now to me is, like a handicap. And I'm not a sports person, so I don't fully understand the whole handicap thing. My partner plays golf, and so they have like a handicap in golf or whatever. I think it's to kind of even the playing field or whatever. But the way this is coming through right now is sort of like, look at your bias as your handicap. And so when you are reviewing information, when you're having a conversation, whatever it is that you're doing, take your bias into account and kind of factor that in as you're absorbing the information, and allow that to help you perhaps see from a fuller perspective, if that makes any sense. This feels to me, the Knight definitely, and this goes along with like in the tarot to an extent. It's usually the pages that represent the messengers, but I'm feeling this as a messenger here as well. Something in your life right now is a messenger that is helping you to see more clearly where it is that you have a bias, or where it is that you have been sort of having a narrow focus or a narrow perception of something, and that needs to be widened. So pay attention to who, and it doesn't necessarily just need to be a person that's this messenger. It could be a situation. It could be your reaction to something that you see or hear. Just pay attention to that, because we're having this opportunity to really expand our perception right now. We have Mercury in Sagittarius getting ready to go retrograde on the 25th, I believe it is. And that's going to be a powerful retrograde. And Mercury is in conversation right now with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So they're in an opposition here. So there's a lot of this energy of expanding our perspectives, expanding our belief systems, noticing, being willing to notice where those might be flawed, where those might be colored by bias, and the opportunity to open that up more. The 8 is in the sign of Libra, as is the 4 that we pulled for the yoga, the contemplation. So there's this energy of compromise. There's this energy of being willing to see different sides. Libra energy is really good at existing in the gray area, where nothing is black or white, seeing all sides, seeing all perspectives. This is something that we're all going to need to be able to do in order to communicate with each other, moving forward as a collective. The hot air balloon, this is all about new perspectives, rising above, releasing resistance. Yeah, so where is there resistance that needs to be released here? And this feels like the elevation that's possible when we're able to move beyond our blinders, beyond our tunnel vision, beyond our biases. This is also saying if you have been hyper-focused on something, it's time to relax your vision, or sort of, it's like decrease the focus in that one area. So this goes back to the Virgo energy again. Virgo is really, really famous for this. That hyper-focusing. Give yourself a break. Give your mind a break. Give your body a break. If somebody has been trying to make a choice or a decision, and we had all those options at the beginning of the reading, right? It could be that you've been thinking about it too much, and you need to give yourself a break from trying to decide, a break from even what we talked about in the beginning, weighing the pros and cons, doing all this stuff. Just give yourself a break. Give yourself some space and some grace. When you give yourself a break from thinking, from analyzing, from trying to figure it out, the solution will naturally materialize. Do something else for a little while. We have spilled milk here with the corset. And the corset's all about following rules, holding it together, people pleasing. And the spilled milk is all about regret and disappointment. So some people, this is like learning from your mistakes. This is not getting stuck in the past. If there was a situation that you handled poorly, where you wish you had done something differently, where perhaps you were following somebody else's rules instead of living by your own. You were living by somebody else's. It feels like somebody else's morals, somebody else's ideals. You were trying to tiptoe around somebody or please them by being a certain way, and it backfired. That's going to be also for somebody. Or it's something about like this this version of yourself that you were trying to present in order to keep the peace or in order to please people. It kind of blew up in your face is what this feels like. And Spirit's saying, let it go. It's okay. It's not as big a deal as you're making it. And even if that specific scenario didn't resonate for people, there's something here for a good chunk of my collective. And these are Aquarius and Pisces energies here. Where Spirit's just saying, let it go. This is the spilled, don't cry over spilled milk. It's not, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Just stop worrying so much about it. Move on, essentially. This is like when we have a conversation with somebody and we say something embarrassing or do something embarrassing, and then we go over and over in our heads what we could have done differently, what we could have said differently. We can't rewind time. Not really. I mean, time travel and all of that is possible in certain ways. But essentially, like, what's done is done. So like, what are we going to do from here forward? How are we just going to learn? Let's learn from the mistakes. But we learn from our mistakes, not from rehashing them over and over again, but by doing better next time. So just vow to do better next time and move on. All right, we're going to get some tarot here. We have the Justice, the Queen of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So this is, once again, there's this message energy coming through. We have Judgment on the bottom of the deck. But this is like learning something that's really healing on a heart level and brings some closure. That's what I'm feeling from Justice right now. I'm feeling closure. And the Judgment card in this sense is very much about moving on. It's also about rising from the ashes. There's another energy that I'm feeling from the Judgment here. It's that energy of, what do you call it when people, it's so funny how words sometimes when I'm doing these readings, like words just leave me. As somebody who's a natural writer, it's like the strangest thing when these words just like fly right out of my head. When someone rises up from the dead, resurrection, there we go. There's this energy of resurrection here. It's like emotional resurrection. It's like you learn something and it brings you closure. And that closure is the justice that you were seeking. This is also about learning when people have been operating in integrity as far as their actions towards you goes and where they have not. And also coming to a deeper understanding of situations where you were not acting in your integrity. And sometimes we do this without even realizing. So an example of this that I can share with you, like a personal example for this, would be for a really long time for me, I was very dishonest with myself about my wants and my needs. There was a part of me that learned through childhood, of no fault of anyone's, just this stuff just happens sometimes, even if people aren't necessarily trying to teach us these things. I learned that I should need less because that made it easier for everybody else around me. And so in all of my relationships, I would act like I didn't need things or act like I didn't want things because I felt like that was going to make the relationship run smoother. And in order to do this successfully, I had to lie to myself about what I really wanted and needed. That made it easier to lie to other people. And you can see how this was a setup for disaster, right? So I feel like somebody else is coming to this conclusion right now as well. This conclusion of like, because that's an example of operating out of integrity. I was not in integrity because I wasn't in my truth. And as a result, there were some disastrous situations, like I said, that ensued as a result of that, particularly in my romantic relationships. So, where is it that you have been operating out of integrity with your own wants, needs, and desires, with your own truth? And this resurrection is, this call to action with the judgment is bringing that back into order. And where you're noticing other people in your life that are out of integrity, whether intentionally or unintentionally, what's the move there, essentially? Do you bring it to their attention? Gently and lovingly. Are these people that you need to remove from your life? Only you're going to know the answer to that. But it's like these things are becoming more clear. This also feels for somebody here like a court ruling or something. If you've been waiting for a ruling on something, I feel like that's coming through. We have the Four of Wands in reverse. Interesting. Tell me more about this ruling for the people who are getting ready for a court ruling here. And this, as we're getting these cards here for the court ruling, I also want to say that this Taurus full moon is all about pushing us outside of our comfort zone. So everything here, this is all different ways that people are being called to step out of their comfort zone, or changes and shifts that we're being called to make. So for some people with the spilled milk thing, it's like this constant rehashing and this constant living in the past and living in regret and getting caught up over the little things, the little mistakes. For some people, it's that desire to follow the rules and to present this perfect, it's that releasing perfectionism coming up over and over again. Let's see, with this court ruling here, we have the Five of Wands here. So this is like that energy of disagreements. This is people having, I feel like, ideological differences. If this is related to home and family, because we do have the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and it was on the table before too. This could be differences about how to raise children. It could just be differences, like if this is a divorce thing, right, where you realize that you just weren't on the same page. We got the Page of Pentacles. So for some people, this has to do with a business. Patents, I'm feeling for somebody, interestingly enough. Got the Three of Pentacles, someone that you were collaborating with maybe, and you're splitting up the company, or you're trying to decide whose idea something was, who gets rights to something maybe. And we have the Ace of Pentacles though, so I feel like you are coming out victorious in this, or there's going to be a decision made that is going to benefit you. Because we got the Ten of Cups on the bottom of the deck. We also had the Four of Cups though, so it may not be everything that you hoped, but I feel like it is going to be overall beneficial to you. And if this is related to family, like there is positive movement forward. We also had the Devil when I shuffled there, so don't get in your own way, essentially. Final outcome, because we saw a couple interesting cards there. So final outcome here. So weird. So we had the Four of Cups, but also the Ten of Cups popping up again. All right, so I guess what Spirit's saying as in accordance to that is like, you may feel as though you didn't get what you deserved or wanted out of this decision. However, you're getting what you need. But you may not be able to see that right now because it's that hyper-focused energy we were talking about. You've been hyper-focused on this one thing that you thought was the most important. And you're missing everything that is positive and everything that you're actually getting. It's like you're missing your eyes on the wrong ball, I guess, is one way that I could put it. So you have to switch up your perspective. There's like a little nugget or a little kernel of something that you are receiving, and that's what's going to grow into that Ace of Pentacles that we saw. Got the Devil coming back out again. So this is getting in your own way. This is self-sabotage. This is, tell me more about the devil and why the devil is here in relation to this. Holding on too tightly. So, all right, there's an interesting example that's coming through here for this. And the example is like, say you started a business with somebody and you came up with a name for this business and you both really loved it. So that's what you named your business. And now you're dissolving that partnership and you want the rights to the name. But the ruling comes in that the other person, even though you know that you're the one that came up with it, the other person gets to keep that name. And you get certain rights to some of the creative materials that you created together. You get rights to a lot of things that are really good, but you wanted that name, right? It's like you really love the website. You like what, you see where I'm going with this? And it's like, even though you won the rights to a lot of the stuff that will actually be the cornerstone of your own personal business that you're going to go and create now without this other person, you're still heated because you lost the name. And because you don't get to keep the name, everything else feels like worthless or useless. That's like the energy that I'm feeling here. And I'm also feeling this guidance. So apply that to whatever situation you're in. And I'm also feeling this guidance that's saying, like, don't be stingy. Like, for instance, if there's like a divorce case going on right now, or like a custody case, like, don't be so, like, you will end up not in a great space, or the result will be worse if you don't give a little bit. That's what we had, a lot of Libra energy coming out of this reading, right? It's like, you got to give a little bit. You have to be open to compromise. It can't be my way or the highway. I get all of this. It's all or nothing. Like, that's not going to work. That's not going to serve you in this situation. You need to be willing to compromise. Remember, a lot of times compromise, like the most successful compromises, are when both people come out feeling like they're winning. All right. But a lot of times what compromise ends up being is both people feel like they won a little and lost a little. But the result is something that each person can live with. So that's what you're going for here. That's what you're desiring. And don't let your passions run away with you. Don't let your mouth run away with you. I'm feeling like if you have a tendency to kind of like run off at the mouth, to say things, to put your foot in your mouth, essentially, like, hold your tongue. That's especially with Mercury getting ready to go into retrograde here. All right. Okay. I think that does it for that energy, because there is, I mean, look at this. We got the Ace of Cups here. We got the King of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. Like, things are going to wind up in your favor, but this is also a lesson in letting go. And it's a lesson in compromise. Like we said, a lesson in letting go. And a ultimate lesson in surrender here for somebody. Clear. All right. Let's see. Any final energies for this full moon reading? Anything else for anybody? There's going to be little messages in here for everybody, I feel like. Take what fits and leave the rest. As we say. All right, got the Four of Wands coming back out. I feel like somebody around this time, somebody's going to be purchasing a home or moving, but it really feels like purchasing a home for somebody. Got the Emperor here. Got the Page of Wands. I feel like for somebody, it's like you've been manifesting this dream home. And like, I am feeling this energy of like, be assertive during negotiations. Go into it with confidence. Knowing that it's yours. Tell me a little bit more about this. Yeah, we got the King of Pentacles here, and we got the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. So we got Gemini energy, we got Aries, Capricorn energy. I look at the Emperor as both Capricorn and Aries energy. And the King of Pentacles is, of course, our earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Capricorn coming up real strongly, right? We got that energy twice. I feel like this is something that you worked really hard for. And I really feel like this is going to be something worth celebrating. And I feel like it's that energy of holding out for what you really deserve instead of settling for something less. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of joy, a lot of emotional fulfillment here, a lot of happiness in this home that you're creating. A really nice, stable place to create a foundation for yourself. Got the Hermit, so there's that Virgo energy. And another message coming in. I love it when we have all these different messages coming through. It's so fun. Another message coming through here for somebody is there's a teacher coming into your reality. A mentor or a teacher that you're going to be learning from that's going to help you to go deeper within. And for some of you guys, it's like you're going to be learning more about yourself through collaborations and dealings with others. Ooh, just got like a weird pain in my mouth there. That was interesting. Got the World and the Ace of Wands. I love this. So that's just a final message for people that the endings that you're experiencing right now are making way for new beginnings. There's beautiful completions. Like this home energy, that was a big completion for somebody. Because you've been working towards that for a long time. With that Capricorn energy, it almost feels like since 2008 maybe with Pluto and Capricorn. So for somebody, this has been a long time coming. And we are feeling this full moon is kind of wrapping up some of those energies too, because it's the last moon we have before it's a few days after this moon that Pluto completes Capricorn. It's cycling Capricorn forever. Well, not forever, but forever from our viewpoint in our lifetime. I mean, if we start living for hundreds and hundreds of years, then we may see another Pluto and Capricorn transit once, after ascension, when our lifespan shifts. So if we're living for thousands of years, we'll see another one. But from this particular perspective, it is likely the last time we're going to see Pluto and Capricorn. So that's a major cycle that's wrapping up. So I feel like for some people, it's like you've been building towards something. For some, this is a relationship. For some, like I said, this is buying a home or purchasing a home. It's something that you've been working diligently towards. For others, it's your own spiritual condition and your own healing process. So be on the lookout for new mentors, for new teachers. If anyone is looking for a mentor or somebody to support them in their own process of awakening and healing, I do offer one-on-one coaching. So please reach out to me. We can work together to facilitate some of these breakthroughs, some of this awareness, some of this healing and growth and positive trajectory and movement forward. Some of you guys too, I feel like if you've been in hermit mode, as we say, for a long time, you've been really pulled back into your own energy, which is a necessary part of this process, that isolation piece. A lot of times that's an initiation we go through as we move through our spiritual awakening. Some people have been in that. So whether you've done that intentionally because you just needed to block out all the outside noise, or whether you just have felt as though you've been isolated and you felt lonely, but you've pushed through that, you've continued to exist and be within that and go through your own internal processes, there's like a coming out, so to speak. It's coming back out into the world, beginning to interact, beginning to connect with people again. Yeah, we have the Six of Cups with the Queen of Pentacles. So this is absolutely that renewed connection, that renewed beauty. I feel the mother energy for somebody too. If somebody's a mother, Could be either parent, but I'm more specifically feeling a mother energy. So maybe you've been isolated from the world because you've been raising your children. Perhaps you've been raising them alone, or you felt alone in that process, even if you weren't completely alone. Definitely feeling like two or three, maybe, but I mean, could be any number of kids, could be a single child. It's like you're getting to another stage now where you're able to, you have more time, you have more freedom, more ability to interact, to get back out there again. We had that Lovers card coming out. So some of you might be starting to date again, perhaps after not dating for a long time. Sometimes when we are single parents, there's the importance of who you bring around your children. I feel like for somebody, it's like you were really careful about that. Maybe you had people coming in and out during your childhood, or maybe you wanted that stability, or you didn't want somebody to be there and then to be removed, or like you were very aware of the influences and the role models, and you didn't want just anyone coming into that reality, coming into your children's world. So for some of you, if you actually had been dating but they'd never met your children, you might be getting ready to introduce them to your children. Or for like overall, though, I'm feeling this energy of like getting back out there again. And it might not just be that. It could be like getting involved, creating a social network again, getting involved in sort of a group or an organization or something that's putting you out there more. And putting you back in touch with, like, because we all need that social aspect, but it can be really hard when you're really busy, when you're working, when you're, taking care of your children. So this feels really beautiful. And this is the communication. This is movement with the 8 of Wands here. Yeah, we got the celebration, the unification, that sisterhood energy and feeling too with that. Celebration. Yeah, I feel like you've been juggling a lot of things, whoever this particular portion of the reading is for. You've been juggling a lot of things. So you might be getting some help too. You might have more of a community surrounding you if you've been desiring that and needing that. Maybe you're getting involved. Maybe your children are school age now and you're getting involved in like communities within the school or something like that. We also have the 3 of Swords here, which is interesting. So there could also be some wounds that have been healed, particularly for my people who haven't been dating or haven't been putting themselves out there. Wounds of betrayal. Perhaps somebody went astray within the relationship or just kind of stabbed you in the back in some sense. It doesn't have to be like a partner or a lover who cheated on you necessarily. This could be like a friend who stabbed you in the back. This could be feeling betrayed by people that you trusted, having people turn on you. There's some kind of energy that's also kept you. So for some of you guys, I feel like it's almost like you're coming to realize that maybe you used your children or your responsibilities as an excuse to not connect with people, to not get close to people because you didn't want to get hurt again. And I feel like there is some type of healing that has been achieved around that. And you're ready to get back out there again. You're ready to trust again. Yeah. You're ready to trust and come together with people again. So that's really beautiful. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this reading and I will talk to you all very soon. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to like this video. And as I said, all my information is in the description box below. I do one-on-one coaching. I also do individual sessions, energy sessions, tarot, astrology readings, you name it. So let me know if that is something that you are interested in, if my energy resonates with you. I am always happy. It is my honor and my privilege to be of assistance to you in any way that I can. I'll talk to everybody very soon.